Let's talk about Teams. So in this session, we're going to talk a bit about some of the new features that are recently released. So the first one is quite interesting about the Teams panels.
Yeah, I've actually had the request a lot, changing the name outside of the panel.
But maybe it's my brain or something, but I really love the idea of just, you have a 1.2, probably if it's meeting room number 2 on the first floor, and if it's 0, it's ground level. Something like that I really enjoy. So
let's just go one step back so everybody knows what we actually are talking about.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry.
When you have an account, you have a display name. And right now you're putting that display name in both the meeting room and outside on the panel. So you will see that name no matter where you are. Some people have been asking for the option to change that. So the display name you have in your Exchange account is not the same as out on the panel. So that's the function.
Yeah, but
and you're not a big fan.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I am if it's done right, because otherwise, if I need to find a meeting room, it's called Hans Christian Andersen, for instance, I don't know where to go. Otherwise, I need to know which floor is it on. Is it a meeting room in south or west, or if it's even in Denmark at least.
And you can change that. You know which country. So let's say that you have a naming saying Denmark, then Copenhagen, and then Building 3. Then you can change it down and say Building 3, third floor, room 3, and then you don't need Copenhagen and Denmark and so on. So that's.
But that's just my brain that's working like this.
That's where I see it.
Yeah, I think it works fine for the people that don't have the beautiful name convention. So if you don't have like DK for Denmark, the location and the floor and then the room number, then it would make sense. For my part, it's back to the friendly name from the Surface Hub. So if you wanted to cast, it was easier to find the Surface Hub instead of a long name. But I think this one I think it's quite nice, but I haven't had that many requests for it. But from a few. So
I've had some that actually wanted that option and waited for it.
And I can see it as well, because you've always been calling that meeting room for, let's say, something particular that's around this, the blue room or something like that.
Lion Park.
You
always have to be some exotic names.
You will never put that in your Exchange environment, because what's this? If you have an external consultant or something helping you, they don't know that. So it would be nice to have this feature, I think.
And it's kind of an interesting, because you can only, this is, so far it's one of the few things that you can only change in the Pro Portal. That's, for my knowledge, is the only way you can do it. So you need to go into Pro Portal and you need to find the resource account, and then you need to go in and change it.
When you're changing it, are you also changing on the beacons of the Teams room inside?
No, it has nothing to do with it. It's only the panel. So it's only the panel outside. So if you want to change it inside, then you need to change it for the display name of the account.
Exactly,
So it's only that one out. So, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's quite fun that you do it in Pro Portal. So first of all, it's a Pro license required for doing it.
I mean, everything.
But people if they want to do something like that, they probably have more than 25 rooms, right? So or at least they have a meeting room.
Normally we do all the configuration on Android in Teams Admin Center. So this is one of the few things where you actually go into the Pro Portal for changing names.
But one thing with license, I haven't actually looked into it, but we also see some rooms where we don't have any equipment inside, but we have the schedule panel outside, where we're using the device license. So I'm not sure if that one does it or not. To be honest, I haven't investigated. I haven't had that request, but it's worth looking into. Probably it will work.
I would say yes, it does. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. But definitely.
It's just when we say that you need a Pro license. No, you might actually have scenarios where you have the device.
That's correct. So the shared device license should also work for this. We'll do a test, and then afterwards we'll point
hopefully
it out.
come with an update. So
So that was it for the Teams panel. New update there. Other things that we found in not brand new, but recently new features. That is
I didn't know anything about it, and I know you guys have tested it. And I thought, okay, interesting. It's camera on iPad.
Yeah. I have an iPad Pro, has a USB-C port on it, so it's just working plug and play. It's normally I'm a PC user, so I had it laying around, so I've tested it out. I cannot see the purpose of it. Maybe if you're C-level or something, or executive something where you want really lightweight device, and you normally don't sit at your desk, but sometimes you just need to have a meeting
with a high-end camera.
Yeah, with a high-end camera. Yeah. But for me, I really cannot see the purpose of it. But it's there and it's working and it's doing great. The camera on the iPad itself is also great. So yeah.
I could see it with some product where you have your iPad working and you can handheld your camera or something like that. That's I can see it. Again,
maybe if you have, for instance, you're a big manufacturer something and you need to showcase something abroad and you need to do support on something, you can attach a camera and showcase around. That could be the case, for instance. That I totally agree on.
But I think we all can agree that it's for a small area.
Yeah, I think it's for a small amount of people, but I do still see some, and mostly C-level, using an iPad as their primary device. They don't want the PC, apparently. And then I think that when they then sit with an external monitor and they dock in their iPad Pro, then I think it's quite nice that they can then use an external camera on top of the screen. That's the only case where I normally see it. I would normally say if you walk around and do demonstrations, then I would just use the camera inside the laptop. But a few years ago, I did actually have a request for joining the Teams meeting with the iPhone or iPad instead of having a native Teams rooms. And at that time, it didn't support any external cameras.
It didn't.
So I think there might be use cases for it, but I definitely think that it's not a high amount of it.
No, but it's out there and it's working.
If something will make a check mark. Can you do that in Teams? Yes, we can do that. So
yeah. I think it's a nice small feature. I think the Teams panel, even though it's not huge for me, I still think that is a bigger one for
and it's really nice to see that Microsoft is improving on stuff. So it came with the background change. Now you can change on the Android devices, and now you can change something on the Teams panel. So small tweaks and twerks all around. So it's not like, okay, we have a product ready and it's running. We forget about it. No, they keep developing stuff for it, which is really, really nice to see.
And scheduling paneling is one of my favorite devices. I mean, it adds so much into the room. So the more we can put on it, the better.
Yeah, I think like it definitely going back to feedback is really important for Microsoft. So if you're sitting out there and have a request for something, please make sure to give the feedback to Microsoft. Another thing we didn't write down as a talking point, but that was the feedback option.
Yeah, it's back.
It's a nice little feature. I had a request, I think it was yesterday or the day before, where they were asking, they wanted to implement a QR code into the meeting room to give feedback to the IT if there was any issues. And I was like, why don't you just use the embedded one? I know it's not that easy to find the small question mark, but it's there already.
Yeah.
And you can then add your personal account or whichever account that it should have the mail for the feedback. So
and that works really, really good.
It's good. Yeah, it's great.
Exactly. Yeah.
And just a little side note, not many people know, but you can put that email into the configuration file on the Windows devices. So if you're pushing your configuration file out, you can put your IT help desk email or something like that for feedback. For I think it's 1 or 2 lines or something like that. So something that not many see, but
Perfect, and nice little features that all makes it even better for us to use Teams. But this was Let's Talk About Teams, and thanks so much for watching. See you out there. Bye.
Bye.